Hi, my name is Candace Crenshaw, and I want to talk to you about my experience as a funeral planner and what families should know about funeral and burial process. Most people don't spend much time thinking about funeral planning. It's one of those topics that we tend to avoid, we don't want to talk about, it's uncomfortable for us. However, when a loved one passes away, families are suddenly faced with having to deal with this, making important decisions while often dealing with grief and shock. During my previous position in the funeral industry, I worked closely with families during some of the hardest moments of their lives. I saw firsthand and overwhelmed what happens when you are not prepared. Burial planning can be difficult, especially when families don't know what to expect. Many felt stressed, confused, and emotionally drained simply because they were unfamiliar with this process. Today, I will explain some common misconceptions about funeral planning, describe how funeral and burial arrangements are coordinated, and finally discuss why people pre plan and the benefits of that. To begin, let's talk closely about some of those misconceptions. Many people believe that funeral planning is simple and straightforward when it's actually the difference. In reality, it involves many steps and decisions. Families must choose types of burials, whether they want cremation or a full body burial, urns or caskets, the service location, memorial details. On top of that, they must complete legal documentation, including permits and death certificates, having to gather a lot of information in a short period of time that they might not even know where to get that information. All of this needs to be done, like I mentioned, in a short period of time. Another common misconception is that funeral professionals only manage logistics, but it's a little bit more than that. While logistics are completely part of this process, funeral directors and cemetery staff also provide significant emotional support. They guide families through complex decisions on the worst day of most of their lives, answer questions, and reassure during moments of grief. Many families rely on funeral professionals not just for planning, but for comfort and emotional guidance. Now that we've covered some of the misconceptions, let's explore what happens behind the scenes during funeral and burial planning. Funeral and burial planning requires close coordination between funeral homes, cemeteries, and the family. Everybody is involved. Funeral directors typically meet with families to discuss service arrangements, religious or cultural preferences, and personal wishes. They also help families complete required legal paperwork, which can feel overwhelming during such an emotional time. At the same time, cemetery staff work to prepare burial spaces and schedule the services. Burial plots must be perfected. You can't have mistakes there. Headstones may need to be placed or moved out the way for the process, and service timing must be coordinated with the family and the cemetery as well as the funeral home to make sure everything's in line and nothing is missed. Every detail matters. Communication is key between the professionals here. Funeral home and cemetery coordinate schedules, transportation, and service timing to avoid delays or confusion. This teamwork helps create a seamless experience for families. This happens behind the scene, allowing them to focus on honoring their loved ones and grieving and not having to figure out paperwork and logistics. While this coordination is crucial, there is ways family can make this process a lot easier. And that leads us to the importance of pre-planning. Pre-planning funeral or burial arrangements allows family and individuals to make informed decisions when that time comes. This ensures professionals are doing what they need to do. Personal wishes are clearly communicated and respected because we know what happens when there is not anything in place, when there's nothing written down. It also allows family to better understand what options are available to them. And freeze prices is one of the most important things. And it also gives them a peace of mind. Pre-planning also reduces the stress of financial uncertainties. Costs can be discussed and planned ahead of time. Like I mentioned, it frees the prices. And this allows families to prepare financially. This can prevent unexpected expenses, or what we like to call emotional overspending, or difficult financial decisions during an already emotional part of their lives. Now that we explore pre-planning and what works and what I've seen that works, that preparation matters, let's review key points that we went over here. Funeral planning involves far more than coordination that most people realize. Funeral and cemetery professionals not only manage logistics, but they also provide emotional support for the family. Most importantly, pre-planning can make a difficult time much easier for family members. I've often heard people say, "I'm so glad my mom or my dad did this for me. It makes me feel like they love me this much more because they planned this for me." Thank you for listening.